Alright, so we are currently inside of the test server doing our weekly video here where we give you guys a full guide on everything to expect for this update and what exactly you need to do in order to go ahead and complete this entire thing. As you can see from right above me, there is 6 minutes until this live event goes off, which by the time that you're seeing this video, it has more than likely already happened in the live servers. So once you jump in game, it will be completely different inside of Roslet from what you see behind me right now. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be showing you guys is going to be pretty much a live look at the full event in case you went ahead and missed it by the time that you're watching this video. So go ahead and sit back and enjoy this little portion before we go ahead and jump into this entire full guide. Alright, so as you guys witnessed right there, the volcano went ahead and erupted, and now Roslet Bay has completely changed. To be completely honest, the entirety of Roslet has changed. Everywhere surrounding has now turned into this magma water, and if we make our way over here to our limited fish bestiary, there is now a bestiary called Ashfall. This is going to be extremely important and something to keep in mind in order to go ahead and complete Dr. Phineas's quest, which is located right here inside of the bay. Just go ahead and talk to Dr. Phineas, where he's basically going to go ahead and task you with completing the Ashfall bestiary. Now keep in mind, most of the fish inside of here are fairly easy to catch. They're technically completely straightforward, except for one fish being the ash cloud archer fish. If you notice right here, this one is a negative 90% in order to go ahead and complete. So it is going to be the one that's going to be a bit of a challenge. And if you notice, the resilience on it is actually pretty erratic. I mean, it's not really as hard as something like, for example, a love storm eel, which I would like to point out that I am trying to catch this right now with a no life rod. And for the most part, it really isn't that much of a challenge. Keep in mind, that's coming from the guy with the whale incident. Either way, once you've gone ahead and completed that, you'll be rewarded with the Volcanic Helper title, which you'll see right there, even though my bunny ears are sort of covering it. Aside from that, you will also be receiving the Volcanic Research Boat, which if you watched my video from yesterday, I sort of briefly mentioned this, which I'm going to be honest, I thought this boat was a 1-seater, but it turns out that it's actually a 5-seater. Speed on this is 135, so nothing really too crazy. Steering 45. And oddly enough, it is a rather square boat, so it's interesting, but honestly, the speed doesn't feel that bad on it. Now, another thing that I'm also noticing that's new is over here at Moosewood, there's a lot more theming now based around Mariana's Veil. So if you notice, there's all these plants that sort of spread around everywhere, leading up to this billboard right over here that has pretty much a countdown to the update. If you remember, we did this with the last major update being Atlantis. We sort of had like a 24-hour countdown, and as we progressively got closer to the update, they would go ahead and increase the luck with finally, if you're online when the update drops, you would receive a free bobber. Same thing is going to be happening for Mariana's Veil. Now, I know that some of you are going to be curious about what baits to use for really the hardest ones to actually get here, being the burnt beta as well as the ash cloud archer fish. So for the burnt beta, the bait is a squid, and the ash cloud archer is coal. All right, guys, so this is editing carbon. The update is technically already out, so there's a lot more information that I know, which is the reason why I sort of held back on releasing the video. So we're going to go ahead and squeeze in a couple of things that were not mentioned at the very start of this. For starters, here we are inside of Birch Cave. This is a very infamous island that we've all known about for quite some time now. Most notably, the reason why it's famous is because of the bunker. Well, if we sort of zoom in and out here, you'll notice that there is a secret text right next to the bunker on the floor right here, which funny enough, if you went ahead and actually deciphered this, it says the lava incident, the whale incident, everybody say it with me, carbon is a noob. So yes, I now have another text in the game that completely makes fun of me. I am literally being bullied. But honestly, the biggest thing that was added inside of Birch Cave is the fact that the bunker is now actually openable. If you go ahead and open the doors, walk inside, this is going to lead you into a little secret underground area, very similar to the moderator's room, except that for the most part, it's kind of empty right now. There's only just a couple of pictures, which is very obvious over here that these pictures are Mariana's Veil, because we've pretty much seen an image of this one already, and we've sort of seen these plants over at Moosewood right now. So this is really cool because it gives us a closer look at Mariana's Veil. If we turn this way, there's also a desk that has 3 of the staff members on it. We have Noah on the left-hand side, we have Kiwi on the right-hand side, and in the middle, I'm pretty sure that's our good buddy Pluto. Now, besides all of this, there also is the picture that is inside of the staff room, which I showed you guys previously, and it's a bunch of the staff members sitting on top of of a millicat. Now, for the most part, that's pretty much everything going on inside of here for now. I'm sure that in the future, we might see some more Easter eggs in here because there is plenty of room. Another thing that also changed is that my NPC character in the game that sort of makes fun of me was moved over here to the volcano, so it is no longer found over at the oil rig. Over on Volcano, right next to the little bench where the flower is in the book, you'll find another secret message hidden right over here on the wall. Besides that one, if you climb all the way to the very top of the volcano, sort of where this catwalk is right here, and you look to the left-hand side, there is a second hidden message. The shorter one that's up here says, avoiding one danger only to fall into another. And the second one at the bottom says, a shadow moves beneath the surface, too many shadows, too many heads. Now, there technically is one more message, and it's found over at Grand Reef, but basically, the leading theory right now is that all of these are talking about Cthulhu. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, but the one other thing that I want to show you guys is that there is a brand new mutation in the game called Doomsday. So right here, you're looking at a Doomsday Ash Cloud Archer fish. Close to the end of this video, I'm actually going to show you guys the price of one of these in hexed form, which I believe was like 32,000 or something like that. But if we take a look at this one, it is valued at 85,956. So pretty cool that a giant one of this or an even big one of this is probably somewhere in the high 100Ks to maybe even early 200Ks, which is kind of insane, man. Especially when you take into consideration that these are fairly common to catch. Maybe not in the Doomsday version of it, but the Ash Cloud Archer fish are actually fairly easy to get and they sell for a good amount even without a mutation. As a matter of fact, I almost forgot about this, but there's also a possibility that the volcano can go ahead and shoot out a mystery rock that can land pretty much anywhere within the Bay Area. When that does happen, it's going to look exactly like this, and it's handled the exact same way as a meteor. The difference is that if you go to the middle of this and you go ahead and collect the reward, it's basically always going to be the volcano bobber. So if you want to get your hands on that exclusive bobber, since this whole entire Ashfall event is kind of limited, make sure that you go ahead and look out for those. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue back with the rest of this video. Now, as far as the free-to-play content goes, that's pretty much everything. It's not really a big update. Remember, this is the week before our major update, which 95% of the time ends up being something fairly small, even though technically speaking, something like a live event for Fish that's never really been done for the game is sort of a fairly big feat for them. But now, if we take a look over here at the shop, there is a couple of things that you guys may have already noticed, like, for example, the volcanic bundle that's being advertised on the side. So yes, the volcanic bundle is going to include a molten jet ski as well as a molten lantern, and it looks like 32x server luck is back for whatever reason. Aside from that, we have the volcanic speedboat, and then 3 brand new skins, which honestly, I thought is pretty interesting because the skins are for the carbon rod, and it's called Bombastic Carbon, which, I mean, you know, I'm going to take full credit for that, baby. Then we got a skin for the Arctic rod, which is the Tundra Strike. And finally, a skin for the rod of the Forgotten Fang, being the Forgotten Doomspire. So here's a skin for the Forgotten Fang. It actually looks really, really sick. Doesn't exactly change the model. For example, something like the Megalodon's tooth that actually changed the entire model of the Forgotten Fang and made it look super cool. But I mean, color-wise, I really like it. Now, the one that I'm extra curious about here is the carbon rod. What does this look like? Hey, yo, that actually looks so sick, dude. I might actually have to start rocking the carbon rod now. Now, for the final one, we have the Tundra Strike. This is for the Arctic rod. Really, really cool, especially since this is pretty much kind of like the meta rod for everybody in mid-game. It's super bright, dude. Actually kind of cool looking. I like that whole entire aura effect that it has around it. But anyways, we're going back to our carbon rod here because this is going to be the new meta right here. Now, aside from that, we have the Molten Jet Ski, which is a 235 speed with 80 steering on it, which I am almost certain that that makes this now the fastest vehicle in the entire game. Nice little cool trail effect here on the back, and it actually extends pretty far back. Look at that, dude. That's kind of insane. And then finally, we got ourselves the Volcanic Speedboat. This one is 210 speed with 35 steering. And this one, on the other hand, is actually a beast, bro. This thing looks so crazy. This giant fan that it has in the back, and when you're driving, it spews out fire. I think this one is by far my favorite one. On top of that, it is a 5-seater, but this thing is crazy, dude, with the whole entire kind of like furnace going on here in the front. This is wild. Now, of course, like I always say, the unfortunate reality to this is that these are for Robux. Some of you like it, some of you hate it. I'm not here to judge how you spend your money. money, you do that however you please. But yeah, man, overall, just a quick little update for you guys. Not a really long video, to be honest, because there really isn't a lot to cover. As always, prepare for next week. That is when we got the craziest things going on. And of course, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any of the stuff that's going to be dropping. We're going to have guides, obviously, our live stream, full breakdown of all the leaks leading up to next week. For now, your goal is just going to be to go ahead and complete the Ashfall bestiary and work on getting that money up, man. Before we end off, I will go ahead and show you guys how much the Ash Cloud Archer fish is under the Hex mutation. Price for this is 32,898. So actually a fairly decent price fish. This might be great to go ahead and accumulate a lot of money for next week. So make sure that you guys are farming the Ashfall. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like on it, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.